What's up, guys? We are quickly approaching 2,000 subscribers, and I realize that I haven't posted anything in about a month. I am working on several videos, but I did get into a car accident at the end of February that made life a little difficult, so it's been taking a while to get certain things done. But recently I decided to jump back into fencing. I haven't done any fencing whatsoever since about November. Since I've taken on the role of instructor, I haven't done very much fencing at all. I usually only fence about once every quarter or so. And that's mainly due to a couple injuries, specifically in my left hand. Bashed up two of my fingers really good. And I got a nasty case of tennis elbow. So it's made fencing a little unpleasant. But I feel a lot better now. So I decided to give it a try. I realize a couple of my videos have been pointing out other people's fencing techniques, so maybe we can take a moment to point out all of my flaws and such. So this is going to be a little bit of random sparring and some of my commentary. I hope you guys enjoy.
Oh, no, jeez.
All right, so the event here is Jeff's birthday pit. He's 37 years old, and he has to face everybody in the club. His opponent on the right there is Artyom in the red trim. Artyom is the champion of our last big tournament, which I was unable to participate in. So this is my first time actually getting to fence him since he's come into his own as a fencer. He likes to use crooked strikes and flourishes into various window guards. And of course I start the match off screen. Here we go. Decided to go for a cheeky little one-handed cut because I'm trying to teach him not to hang his elbow out like that, but some habits are hard to break. And of course, the first cut of the video happens off screen. I cut around his cut and hit him in the belly. And of course, my next opponent is Brian, also known as the Sword Links on YouTube. You should definitely go subscribe to him. I have been fencing Brian for many years. He is a 5th degree in Gum-Do, which is a Korean martial art. He's an instructor and a master certified by the WHD GDF and the technical director of the East Coast Haidong Gum-Do Association. He also gave me these pants, and that's what really matters to me. Here he intercepts my cut, but he lands flat, so we don't count that one.
You want to have my hand there? It sounded like a shot. You good? Sounded like a mark. Okay. I hit something I just couldn't tell what.
There I used the momentum of his cut to actually carry my sword around and hit him in the arm. At this point I'm already feeling a little blown up, which I'm not quite used to. My next opponent is Leonard. He's 65 years old and kind of new to longsword. He's done Olympic-style fencing, but I thought I'd take it a little easy on him. I was not expecting him to be so aggressive. But he ends up going for a stab to my hand, and I kind of just drove my hand into it because I reacted way too late. Here I'm up against Brian again. I am in Schlüssel, or the key guard. And I believe he's trying a middle guard or a version of Gambito. But essentially, the same exact thing happened in the previous exchange between us, where I used his energy to wheel around, but instead he cut very quickly towards my hand at the same time, so we kind of doubled there. I'm trying Fool or Middle Iron Gates, now into Vadi's Poseidana. I went for a little quarter cut. I think I hit the grip of his sword right in between his hands. Oh, that was pretty sloppy. I cut around to his side, and then he nipped me on my elbow at the end there. It's a little difficult to see.
One more time. One more time.
Round 3.
He's trying bicorno because he knows I like to use bicorno.
Yeah. Make the tips, Chris.
Weird thing happened there where the pommel was loose and it kind of messed up my cut, but either way, I was trying to cut around his cuts too much and I should have tried engaging his blade a little more.
Oh, yeah, you screw it back on. You screw it back on.
I'm so responsible. Question, does anybody want to
Here's a little bit of free sparring with Len. He's very squirrely and he keeps on trying to go for my hands. There he kind of slaps the flap of my glove with the flat of his blade, so nothing really there. At least that's what I think happened. I didn't really feel anything. I'm really just trying to see what he's doing here, get inside his head and figure out how he's trying to fence. That was a weird one. I went for a thrust and then just kind of dropped it down on his arm. Not really a quality hit, and he popped me in the hand afterwards. Just a big old cut around to his shoulder. I like to move into Myers' hanging point and then transition into an overhead cut, and I got him in the shoulder here. Yeah, I caught him pretty good, but he got a little afterblow to the underneath my arm. Definitely noticing I'm spending a little too much time cutting around blows instead of trying to engage my opponent's sword. Here's our team again. I believe I cut him in the clavicle there. Here's where I think my tennis elbow really kind of came into play here. I'm pretty good at landing a Mandrito Satano after deflecting a high attack, but here I just couldn't quite get my arms around.
You got my thumb.
Yeah, you got my thumb. RTM likes this very squared vom tag position. I didn't teach him that. And that's what happens when you give away all your tells by squaring up your body. Here I tried the fence with Steve. I'm completely gassed at this point. I can't really show you the other exchanges because Len just walks right in front of the camera. Up next is Doug, who I've fenced many times. He's very deceptively tall. He's about 6'4". He doesn't really look it. He's very lanky. He goes for a very high middle how, and it collides with my Mandrito Satano, and it just looks kind of cool. If you haven't noticed, I do like a slower pace fencing match. I enjoy the pre-fencing portion of fencing. I like psychological fencing. I really don't like stupid, super aggressive fencing. I got him on the forearm there. I was aiming for his head. I'm always aiming for the head, usually, and I always end up hitting the arms. It's a problem I need to take a look at. It's my depth perception, but my cuts always fall short of the head and end up landing on the arms or shoulder.
How did you even see that?
I see everything, Jeff. I see everything. There, Doug scrapes my shoulder with his one-handed thrust. He's very good at that move. And I'm pretty good at countering, I'm just not very good at punishing it. Doug is actually the last person that I fenced with the longsword before I stopped fencing. And it was in the finals of one of our quarterly tournaments. And I swear I stopped his one-handed thrust like 9 times and I didn't punish it a single time. There I punish him for hanging his elbow out, and he tries for the one-handed thrust but misses. I can't remember where I hit, and it looks like he hit me in the head. I don't remember feeling it or even mentioning it when it happened, but it definitely looks like he hit me in the head, and I think I hit him in the shoulder or the neck. I can't remember. But either way, sloppy fencing.
What's even better is I didn't come straight down.
Here I'm giving Jeff one exchange. I wasn't able to participate in his birthday pit, so this is kind of like my exchange for that. Here Jeff's going for Fiore's Archer Guard. He's going to try a one-handed thrust, and I know that because I taught him this. And he knows I know how to counter it, so he gives up on it. Trying to give Jeff some time to think here. He's been struggling a little bit to find what really works for him. I think part of his problem is that his jacket restricts his movement quite a bit. He also walks a lot and doesn't transition from position of strength to position of strength, so in my opinion, I think that leaves you open when you do too much walking. He also has a habit of holding his sword edge to the ground, which is not a very good way to hold a longsword.
I was wondering if my sword was better.
Yeah, the moment of like fencing, I was wondering.
Yeah, I was looking at it like you said.
We probably choose the same pair of knives. And thank you for taking it.
Thank you for the resume.
And finally, I'm up against Brandon. Brandon likes Codalonga. He really likes to use Fiore's first play, or his first master, which I do also. But his main target is definitely the hands. Generally, when I fence him, I try to provoke him into doing things that are out of his comfort zone. The format of one of our tournaments was a triple elimination tournament, and I ended up having to beat him 3 times. Because we were the last 2 left and we still had all of our lives.
If you get your hands up, and you're coming down to me, and if it's ever for me to come down farther, and this is if you don't let them come down.
Like, please hit me in the arm, please hit me in the arm.
I really hate that I'm off screen here. You missed a really cool dodge. And there I hit him with Fiore's first master, the move that he likes to use. I always like to start my matches in the window guard because you can easily transition to any guard from that guard.
Last exchange!
See how long we can make this exchange.
Same thing again there. Being cheeky, I guess.
Last exchange!
Oh yeah, well, this is the last exchange. This is the last exchange.
Yeah, the buzzer out. Right, so? Yeah, these are hits. Thank you for
Yeah, but it sucked.
It's the second time I got into a high bind and I kind of froze.
It definitely hit the thigh. It felt like it was good.
I didn't like it.
I saw the sword kind of whip flat afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was flat. I think it was flat.
I definitely felt it.
I don't throw many guys slings. They're not good at it.
I apologize there because every time I throw a cut that hits the ground, I feel like it was an undisciplined cut, so I feel like I'm being kind of rude. I can't explain that really.
Gotta let the camera.
You can probably hear me breathing a little bit. I'm extremely gassed from all the fencing I've done.
Line back up that, go center.
I decided to give him a perfect angle to hit my hands at for whatever reason. I was extremely tired at this point. I'm not really used to being this tired while I fence. I always say I have 3 superpowers. One is that nothing makes me throw up. I am also immune to tickling. And up until this point, I never get tired fencing. I've made it to the end of tournaments where everybody's gassed and I feel fine. So I think all that time off has definitely affected my stamina. So I'm going to have to work on that. But otherwise, I felt pretty good here. My hand wasn't bothering me at all. My elbow bothered me a couple times. There were a couple times where I felt like my reaction time was a little slow. I hesitated several times when there was a bind. But I'm recording this a day after all this fencing, and I feel fine. So hopefully this continues and I can fence a lot more. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks everybody for your support. I'm happy with the channel's growth, and I'm going to strive for even greater heights. If you'd guys like to see more fencing videos like this, please let me know. But until next time, remember to stay out of the way of the camera lens. Peace out.
Makes you feel better? Huh? It makes you feel better?